This edition of MacVoices is supported by the MacVoices Dispatch, our weekly newsletter for MacVoices viewers and listeners. Get the inside scoop on all the MacVoices news by visiting macvoices.com/newsletter to subscribe. I'm Chuck Joyner. This is MacVoices at International CES in Las Vegas. I'm here in the ZeroChroma booth with Brian Gette, talking about ZeroChroma and everything they're doing. And folks, this is a fantastic set of products. You're really going to want to pay attention. But first, I need to apologize to Brian. Brian's interview last year at CES was the one interview that crashed and burned, and I couldn't publish it. So Brian, I'm so sorry. But I think the wait may have been worth it. This is some fantastic stuff.
Absolutely. We've made a lot of progress in the last year.
You have, and up until I got the iPhone 6 Plus, yours was and still is my favorite case ever.
We have a case for you for that.
Oh boy, the 6 Plus is out?
Absolutely.
Oh, great. Okay, so that solves that problem. But you've solved a lot of other problems. You're taking a little bit of a different approach, though, and one of the most innovative and far-reaching ones that I've heard. So let's go for it.
Well, great. Well, we are ecosystem thinkers, so it's we're trying to create a solution that really works with the consumer. We're ZeroChroma, so we're no color. So a lot of case companies are out there creating new patterns and new styles and so on, and they're very focused on protection and style. They kind of go back and forth ping pong between those, or the pendulum swings, if you will. We're really focused on creating something that allows you to morph through all the different activities of your day. So from the moment you wake up and have your alarm, so you can actually see the timer or the alarm on your phone, all the way to going to sleep with your kid resting their head on your shoulder and watching something. And we want to go through all those different activities, from working out to business to personal life, driving, all those things, and make the device, phone and tablet, morph very simply, very cleanly, in a low-profile, slim way through all those different activities. And so this is our tablets, and so we'll talk about tablets first.
All right.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, no, go right ahead. Go ahead. Before I move out, we'll zoom in then when you start to do some of the other things.
Okay, great. So we essentially our basic kind of fundamental component to the products that we make is our stand. Now we've modified the stand from our original design so that it does any angle. So it does in any orientation. Meaning you can do kind of portrait and landscape with regard to a tablet, but you can really, it's 360 degrees, so you can put it wherever you like, and then any angle. So not just the 11 angles we used to have, but you can just push the case at any single angle between about 0 and 90 degrees, and it'll stay there. And then it folds flat, and in the slimmest profile of any stand, let alone a stand that does all those different characteristics. And then with the tablet, we have a slide lid system, so you can actually take the lid off. One of the issues with tablet cases is you fold the lid behind and you have this extra bulk. And for a lot of activities with a tablet, that's just not a positive thing, especially with the way that most of the cases are constructed. So the ability to slide this off reduces the bulk and weight and creates a very simplistic product to use here. But it also allows in portrait, for when the lid's off, it allows you to do low angles in portrait. And if you had a lid, you can't do low angles in portrait, it just doesn't work. And so that's the basic product, I'm going to call it. So it's, for tablets, it's the slide lid along with the any angle, any orientation stand. And then what we've done is expand that. So in keeping with morphing throughout your entire day and being the mountable, wearable, hands-free, whatever it may be, device helper here through all the different activities, this year we came up with several changes. So we've gone into the ecosystem of mounts, if you will, that takes our basic standard slide lid case, and it takes advantage of both. So we have the stand itself, and then we have this slide track. And so what I'll do is just show you this. So the slide track mechanism that the lid slides on and off on, slides like this, it leaves this track system. And that track system allows us to create the mounting ecosystem that we want. And so this actually is a mount that can go onto any surface. It is a 3M adhesive, so you can pull these flaps back to take this off and you'd peel it off, but it's the same 3M adhesive that you're used to seeing in mounting picture frames and things like that. So it's a semi-permanent. So you put this on the surface, it'll stay on as long as you want. You take it off, it leaves no residue. And this slide track system that we use for the lid actually works with this. So it just slides on and off. And you can actually use the stand to angle the case if needed. Same thing over here. We're going to pop on the other side. This is a headrest mount. So imagine these are the headrest poles with the headrest sitting on top of this. Very simple, all fabric based. You slide this into the headrest. Headrest drops down. All you see is this little piece of fabric sticking out. Same slide track mechanism. Kids in the back seat, you can angle using the stand for them to be able to watch at a viewing angle that makes sense or based on light situations. And we also have, launching this year, a new lid that's going to have a keyboard in it. So this is a phenomenally forward-leaning lid. So not just a replacement for this lid with a keyboard, but look at how thin this is. And I'll show you a couple other things. So it's extremely thin, 5.5 millimeter, but there are multiple types of keyboard structures. This is the best of those. So this is a scissor key structure. So it's just like the keyboard feel that you have on the keyboard at home. It's a little bit thinner, so you have a little bit less movement, but it feels like a regular keyboard. And you can see it here, it's actually typing up on the screen, Bluetooth LE. So I can take this all the way off the device, put the device in a portrait mode, and have a, type a Word document, if you will, and a really comfortable on my lap or something like that. And we move the charging port from the edge, so every 2 months you'll have to charge this thing. We put the charging port on the inside of the lid. It makes for a very clean look and exterior here when you're not charging, which is not the case with a lot of the other lids that are out there, or a lot of the other keyboards, I should say, out of there. So, and then the other thing that we're launching this year, I'm going to grab this from over here, is a new stand mechanism. So the current stand mechanism looks like this, and it essentially does the rotation and the angling like we talked about. What we've done is we've added on a strap system. So it adds on just a little bit of thickness. You can see there's a different way to open it. Instead of pulling at the top here, you actually squeeze these buttons, and what that does is it keeps the stand locked down when you want to do this, which is really cool. You slide your hand in, and you now have a strap system. And so you can actually rotate this. And so we have teachers and coaches, if you will, on field. You can stand in the subway and not worry about being jostled. You're not holding on to this heavy 1 pound weight. It's really comfortable. And we were able to make the strap wrap all the way around the stand so we get double stretch. You can see it pulling out of the mechanism there, and it still pulls back. So it gives a really comfortable four-way stretch feel that wraps your knuckles and everything else. You barely feel like you're holding something. So, and then you're still getting the stands. You squeeze this, and you're still getting the same stand that you were getting before. So it's kind of everything all wrapped into one. When you add in the mechanism here for the mounting and the slide lids, the combination with the keyboard adds kind of every feature that we can think of at the moment here that you might want to go again from that 5 a.m. to midnight part of your day and morph through the day. So now on the phones, we have this is mostly iPhone 6 and iPhone 6 Plus. We do have the iPhone 5, 5S, and so on, and we'll be expanding into other lines outside of Apple. But currently, we're pretty much Apple focused. We have our Vario Protect line here is highlighted. We'll talk about the same type of ecosystem thinking that we did before, same type of strap stand system that we talked about before. I won't go through the stand again, because we've got the discussion on the iPads, but again, any angle, any orientation on the stand, mostly portrait and landscape. The stand actually doubles as the mounting mechanism again, and so we actually have a dash mount, and so I've got one on and one off here. It's very simple. You just turn this screw. It goes onto any kind of vertical, horizontal, round, circular, square, whatever mount or vent, and then you can put the stand inside here. So you can see here from the side, maybe we can do a little, you just push it into the mount, and then you can actually angle it on, so the vent can angle, or you can actually angle this inside the stand mount, and then this is like a ball joint. So any angle, any orientation, I can do the GPS or a FaceTime call to the passenger in the car, and you just take this off. Sorry, it's tough to do this with the mic, but just take this off, and that's what's left on the vent. And you can actually take this with you for the rental car if you happen to be traveling. And then over here we have an arm strap, and so it actually mounts to the inside of the stand, if you can see on this, and you'll be able to rotate it on the arm, and I'll show you how that works. Very simple little push button release to take that off, and I'll show you how that works. I'm going to put the mic down because I need two hands. There we go. So we also have an Under Armour version. So we have our version, and then we have the Under Armour version, and we're doing a very strong partnership with Under Armour. This is the first of several products that we'll be doing with them. And this is actually the Under Armour version of that mount. You'll notice on the packaging here, we show a lower arm and an upper arm. The lower arm is really unique, and the rotation is really unique. And the ability to take it and have a case that you don't have to take your device out of the case, stick it into a different arm strap, and then put it back into the case. You don't need to do that. You buy a case, any of our cases, any of their cases, and it'll work cross-platform with all the other mounts. And so I'm going to take this is actually a 6 Plus. So just pop the stand because it works with any of the cases we have. There's a little connection here and a little connection there. Mounts onto these two mounts as we showed in that image before. All I do is I'm just putting it on the top hook, and then I snap it down. That's it. So now I have a 6 Plus that I can actually do a CrossFit workout on. I can do push-ups, whatever I want to do, because it floats above my elbow. So whatever my arm needs to do, whatever activity I need to do, it's not a problem. So it can be something beyond running. And it has these indexes, so it locks into these 45-degree angles if I want that. But if I'm running, let's say, and I'm like, I don't like that song, all I can do is pivot this, rotate it, and I get to see with a very clear screen, get away from the light glare that might be happening from the sun, change my music, prop this back, rotate it back. And it doesn't have to be here again, it can be up on the upper arm as normal. I may even want to take it off and make a phone call. Little button, right there, you can see where the arrows are. All I do is push that, I take it off. Same mechanism, snapping it back on, I just snap it back on and move on to the next part of the workout. So that is the two mount mechanisms that we've got, and then again the same or similar type of strap stand that we talked about. Now I've got a black stand inside of a clear case, but I'll use this for demonstration purposes. So I can slip my finger into this, any one of my fingers or two fingers or whatever I'd like, and the same thing as before. This strap has a double stretch on the inside, and you can use the stand in all the positions and orientations we talked about. But just the ability, especially with a 6 Plus, so I have this in a 6, but this is a 6 Plus. The ability to get my finger all the way across and touch that screen in all these different locations is enabled by the ability to not have to wrap my hand all the way around the stand. It puts my thumb back around this side. That's an extremely comfortable, highly useful way to hold onto the case. So we feel like the strap and the stand in combination with the various mounts, again, allows this. I wake up, what do I need? All the way through every activity of the day, no matter who I am, all the way to going to sleep, and it morphs with me in a very slim, low-profile way.
So when I stopped here, I thought we were just going to talk about iPhone cases. I didn't realize you were going to take over my life. This is a really impressive set of products, and there's so many great engineering things here. You went through them. I hope people watch this like 2 or 3 times. The idea of using the adhesives like the picture hangers is fantastic because your promo video shows someone with it mounted on a mirror in the bathroom in the morning, which is perfect. Yeah. And the great thing is, now I'm not having to dedicate an iPad to that. Right. I can take my existing iPad with my existing cover and adapt it to all these things. Yeah.
It allows the iPad mounts, the car backup headrest and the wall mount. You can use this in the office. You can use this with your kids in the back seat. You can use it in the kitchen. You stream some television, some news, put some recipes up there. So if you think about all those activities during the day and the ability to take these very simple mounts and place them in the locations that matter to you in the way you live your life. So someone can use this in one set of circumstances throughout their day, and then you can have somebody who's a stay-at-home dad, or you could have somebody that's in the office, or you can have an athlete. Whatever they need, this will morph throughout their day. So the athlete could stick it on the locker. They could be on field with the strap. Same thing with the business professional. Could use the keyboard, put it into portrait, then they can stand and give a presentation. They can all these different ways in which you need the device to work inside your life that you struggle with or you're frustrated by, trying to prop the thing up in certain locations when you don't have a stand. All those things are made very simple with the full ecosystem.
Another thing that's kind of ironic is during the end of your discussion about the Apple Watch, we talked about, well, is it going to be a screen big enough, and when will somebody make it so I can put my iPhone on my wrist? And you basically have. Absolutely. So, we should have called you. this is probably a little bit unfair, Brian, but can you give us a rough idea of price points? I know a lot of these things are not ready yet, but...
No, it's okay. No, so our cases are in between a $30 and $40 retail price point, and our tablets are in between a $60 and $70 price point. Again, that's with the lid and so on. And the mounting mechanisms we try to make as inexpensive as possible, so they're between $15 and $25. And the $25 one for the tablet actually includes both mounts. So from a cost standpoint, they are the least expensive function in the market, because everybody else that makes something that mounts to a headrest is a far more bulkier process. They don't have a slide track, they don't have a stand. So they have to create the ball joint, and they have to create this hard mechanism to do that. And we've eliminated all that because you actually carry this hyper useful thing that just happens to also mount, and takes care of all those things.
Okay, the next question obviously is availability.
So right now, everything but the strap stand and the keyboard is available in Best Buy at the moment. It's also available online. We'll have the keyboard in the next 2 months at Best Buy. They've been a great partner with us. And then we'll have the strap stand probably 3 months after that. So that'll be launching a little bit later in the year. We may have it on the website a little earlier than that. And then the phone cases are in Target. Some of the ones that are here, all the mounting mechanisms. We're also online, of course, with that. We'll have these cases that you see here will also be in Target. They'll probably be in another month because they're brand new, this Vario Protect version. We have a bumper case system that's in there. And then Under Armour will be available, websites, Under Armour stores, us, and then we're trying to push into some of the sporting goods retailers. In fact, they've got meetings today.
Listen, I know you're busy. Thank you so much for the time, and thank you for some great products. I can't say it enough. I think that I'm going to get everything and probably just use your cases. A lot of other solutions out there that solve individual problems. You've kind of solved them all.
We're trying anyway.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Charles.
Good to see you.
Take care.
Folks, we'll have more from CES in Las Vegas. I'm Chuck Joyner. This is MacVoices. Visit MacVoices.com for links, show notes, to subscribe, to connect with Chuck on Twitter, Google+, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and the MacVoices blog. Subscribe to our weekly newsletter, the MacVoices Dispatch, to stay up to date on all the latest MacVoices news from our front page or at MacVoices.com/newsletter. Do more with your Apple tech by subscribing to the free MacVoices magazine on Flipboard by visiting MacVoices.com/magazine. Advertising and sponsorships handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CashFly at cashfly.com.